Well, hey folks, Fat Guy Flies RC. Guess what's going on here? Four planes. Before Christmas, my wife asked me, she said, give me a list of about 5 planes that you would really like to have for Christmas. And she said, you know, and rank them by most favorite or whatever. And she said, and I'll see what I can do. She said, I probably won't be able to buy all 4 or all 5 of them. She said, but I'll try to get what I can get. And I said, okay. Well, this is my second choice. My first choice actually was the Freewing 64mm A10 version 3. But she didn't give me that one. Instead, she got me this one. And to my surprise, she bought me the other 4. She bought me 4 out of the 5. So she bought this one. She bought me the E-FLITE SNJ5 Warbird. She bought me the Flex Innovation 10E G2. And she bought me that Flightline TAW 152. All of them were on my list. And I was like, okay, I was not, the family together, my wife and both my adult children both got together. I was expecting maybe 1, maybe 2 of the planes, but they got me 4 of them. So, okay, well that's not why you're here. You're here to watch me unbox this thing. But I'm just letting you know, this is why, you know, my family not only supports my plane addiction, but they enable it. Anyways, okay, let's unbox the Habu 80mm XS. You're like, great, enough about you. You got a lot of planes and your family helps you out. Okay. Yeah, they do. Okay, let's unbox this beautiful book. This box actually kind of sits looser than what I was thinking. A lot of these E-FLITE planes, they're like vacuum packed in the box. This one's in there kind of loose, so, which is different for me. Because it slides right out. Usually you have to open the other end, and I have not opened this up yet. In all actuality, this is the second one. The first one of my Christmas present. The first one my wife bought had a bad wing bolt issue, and I went to do an unboxing build just like this, and I couldn't get it lined up, and we had to send that one back. I mean, no matter what I did, the wings would not line up. So I said, okay. So we went ahead and got that one back, and this is the replacement. So otherwise I would have already had the unboxing build video done already. So this one just came in the mail. So as the replacement, E-FLITE, of course, Horizon Hobby, of course, took care of us. Habu, the manual. The only thing about when you have a return, and you start looking at these things, if you have an issue, just, you know, hey, take pictures, take a little video, say, hey, here's what's going on. You know, what do you suggest we do? And 9 times out of 10, Horizon Hobby are just going to say, we'll pack the plane up, here's a return label, and we'll get you taken care of. As long as you're nice and respectful, and you show them clearly what the problem is, you don't just rant and rave and throw a fit like I have done before, and now I can't buy from some companies because I was not nice. And we're not going to talk about that. It's a wholly different subject. But anyways, and my wife, she has got on to me so many times. She says, you lose your cool with these companies, and you throw a fit when things are, you know, clearly wrong that need to be addressed and fixed and taken care of. That just dropped. She said, but you go about it in a nicer way. And I'm like, yeah, I could. And as a result, there's some companies won't sell to me now. So it is what it is. They won't forgive me. Okay, let's yeah, everything's vacuum packed in here. You know what? Let's, like I've been starting to do, everything's in here like you can drop it off the back of a bus. Okay, but in Horizon Hobby and E-FLITE are famous for really protecting their investments. So let's change our camera view where you can look down upon it and see how everything's laid out. And as I take the parts out, I've had a lot of positive feedback back on doing that process, so hold still. So whenever you open it up, this is what you're looking at, okay? So you're going to have to, don't lose your knife, go ahead and take take your knife and go ahead and cut everywhere where you see the foam connect to the plastic. go ahead and take them. Go ahead and cut that. Everything kind of sandwiches together in here. Okay. And I highly suggest doing this. Just take a video of it. Take pictures of it, how it's all laid out. Now there's your, of course, your horizontal stabilizer, otherwise known as rudder or elevator. Okay, this is all hard plastic here. Go ahead and unfurl all your wires while you're here, because you're going to have to do it anyways. Go ahead and do it while you're looking at it. Okay, you got elevator, rudder, and elevator. So, okay, there's your, yeah, the elevator wire is going to, from the actual rudder, or the rudder wire is going to go through there and connect up to here. So, all right. I'll tell you what, the fit and finish on this, on their new generation of their new models, is just fun. It looks like metal. Wall links already hooked up for you. Very nice. Very, 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 very nice. All right. Keep up with your debris. Okay. That part there is very important, how that sandwiches together. Okay. And I love the fact they take the time, they put all these blankets of foam, of sheets of foam in between each part. It just shows, you know, they're, well, then again, this is, you know, well over $500 plane. Even little bits of foam, of sheeting. Look at that. That's on purpose. That's cut to be in there on purpose. That is very nice. Nice quick connects. Yeah, on the model, on the fuse part, where this hooks up on the fuse, where it failed on the other one. It was misaligned. Oh, but that is very, very nice. Very nice. I gotta remember to look at the camera to make sure I'm keeping things centered. You're like, hey, I can't see it, can't see it, can't see it. So set that off to the side. Very low part count here. There's our rudder and its own little sandwich there. See, there's that rudder lead. And actually, that's the light. To be honest, that's actually the light. That's a light there. So. Okay. Oh, see? Yeah, I'm looking across my, there's your nose cone. Okay. I can't see down in there from this angle, so I gotta feel. Make sure I'm not losing it, because there should be a little thing of, oh, here it is, down here, where your screws and everything. A little baggie of screws and stuff. Its own little special compartment. The only wing spar we have. And this is going to go, I guess, probably going to go up in the, yeah, it's going to go up in the rudder. I'll go up in that rudder there. And the wing bolts are all 2mm hex drives, and they've all got some Loctite already on them, and you're going to hook up the rudder. That's the only hookup, the only push rod you've got. Like I say, keep up with all this debris. Let's get this fuse out of here. All right. Look around. Look in every little nook and cranny in the foam coffin. Look at this thing. This thing is beautiful. The fit. I don't have to put a clear coat on this thing. It's already got one. You go ahead and pull all your connections out, because you're going to have to get to them anyways. Okay. All right. So one of these, okay, one is for the rudder, and the other one's for the rudder light, but they're both going to be wide in for the same spot, so it doesn't matter which one you hook up. Okay, and here, this is the problem I had on the first Habu. This piece here was a little misaligned. It was actually in just a touch, and the wing bolt did not line up correctly. And it would go in, but it wouldn't go. It only go in so far. And I could not get the wing to align, and they basically said, okay, send it back, and we'll get you taken care of. So that's what they did. All right. If you just work with them and give them a chance, you know, then understand they're not going to answer your emails instantaneously. All right, let me get everything together, and we'll be right back, and we'll put this puppy together. Hold still. Alrighty, according to the instructions, the first thing they want you to do is put the wing on, which is fine with me. And all the entire assembly can be done with a 2mm, get the focus there, 2mm hex drive screwdriver. And I just highly suggest you get these little metal trays. They make life so much easier. All right, so let's take our wing. You got 4 connection points, and then you got the quick connect where all your electronics hook up, and then you got a center bolt. So 5 bolts go first. So, and this is where I had problems with the last one. So let's keep our fingers crossed. I'm kind of glad to get this out of the way. I'm going to set that down there. That decal is going to line up, and that should sit right down in there, and it just popped right into place as I expected it would. All right, let's get our screws, and let's start with the center one. It's got some bite, and it has a very obvious bottoming out point. Okay, we'll start over here now. It's got some bite, very obvious bottoming out point. And the moment of truth, this one over here. Oh yeah, that feels good. Look, okay, I'm enjoying that. It's a little too much. Yeah, okay. But yeah, it had a, like I said, it had a very obvious bottoming out point. And yeah, let's get the wing on completely, and I'll breathe a sigh of, have some sigh of relief. The other one would not, it just kept turning and turning and turning, and just would not ever seat. That one there. Starting to worry about that one. No, it's finally seated out. You can tell when it drops, it hits bottom. It has a very obvious point. Just like this one does. Yeah, it just suddenly just stops. It won't go any further. So that wing, hey, that wing's on there. All right, so now it says, and I mean that wing is on there. Now we're going to turn the model over. Okay, and this is how the last one should have gone. Okay, you're going to take your rudder. Okay, and you're going to take that little wing spar. You're going to slide that in to the only spot it's got. Okay, I mean, wing spar, hole. Okay, the FBI calls that a clue. Okay, all right. Now we're going to have to hook everything up first. Okay. Oh, actually, no, you don't. You don't. You're just going to install it, and we'll take care of that in a minute. Now, what you do is you're actually going to install these 2 pieces here. Okay, that little wire that's hanging down there. See that wire hanging down? See that hole right through there? That pass through? Okay, that's just a light wire. I'm going to let that pass through there. Line up those 2 pieces. Okay, and that's just going to fit through. And see, here's that wire. I'm going to sandwich these 2 pieces together. And that's all I'm doing. And you're going to take 2 of the screws, and they're going to go right there. So let me grab that real quick. Grab my 2 screws. Okay. That should line up. Okay. Show you what I'm doing here. Okay. These 2 points here. I gotta tell you, the quality here is absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. That way you can see what I'm doing. Okay. it through there. You don't have to, you know, make it super tight. You just got to get it nice and tight and flush. And get the other one. Looks like there might be some paint in the way. That's okay too. We'll get through that. There, went right through there. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, I forgot. Sorry, you had it out of view, but I just crank those two down where they're both those screws down where they're nice and tight. All right, now because I've already unfurled everything, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this. We're going to hook all this up together. All right, now these are all labeled. Let's go ahead and take them rudders, get them taken care of. Grab one of your rudder wires and go ahead and grab that little lead. That's the light lead for that light up there, and it's also labeled rudders. Go ahead and grab it first. Okay, and remember, this is just this one here is just for light. So line up with your dark, your black or your brown, brown to brown, light to light, dark to dark. In this case, you've only got the red, the positive, the negative. So line up your dark, your black with the dark colored on this lead here. That's all the rudder. Okay, then grab this rudder lead. This for the actual servo. Okay, and hook it up here. Remember, anytime you're hooking these things up, light to light, dark to dark, no matter what kind of servo it is. It's got a white wire, a yellow wire, light to light, dark to dark, and they're nice and secure. Okay, and then one elevator here, light to light, dark to dark. Okay. Some of these aren't fitting very tight together, so I'll tell you, grab the other elevator. I'm going to show you something I'm going to do. I'm going to do one, and then I'll pause, and then I'll do the rest. Okay. Now you can take servo connectors if you like, but they don't have, these aren't having like a satisfying click in. So I want to make sure that they stay secure. All right. So the one I'm going to do, so I'm going to take one of these, take a piece of Scotch tape. Okay. And I'm just going to tape those together. Just put a piece of tape. That way they won't back out from each other. Okay, now there are fancy little servo connectors, and I do have some, but I just don't have enough right now and to do it. So you saw what I did. I'm going to do it to all four. We'll be right back. All right, got them all hooked up. Got a piece of reinforcement tape. And if you look, you've got all this cavernous room in there for all these wires too. So you just kind of have to tuck everything in there, get them all purty and happy living together in that cramped little one-bedroom apartment for that six-member family, and get everything. I'm sorry, I know you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm just tucking everything in that little cabinet, that little area, getting everything in there to where I know I'm not going to have any issues. Okay. There's plenty of room for all that to fit in there. They're like, oh, we're so crowded. Okay, shut up. All right. Sure, we're lining up there and everything's happy and in there. All right, then you just line all that up together and then sandwich your two pieces together. Sandwich your tail assembly to the fuse. That's all you're doing now. All right. Now we're going to take our 5 remaining screws. Okay. And there's one up front here. That would be the one I would start with. Okay. You may have to do that. If you get a little bit of opposition, or if it's binding or it's not wanting to set right, take it back off and reposition. Get those wires tucked in nice and tight. Okay. Yeah, see that's sitting down. This was riding up before. It wasn't line up correctly. So okay. And just so you know, I have on order an RC style screwdriver to make these unboxing builds go just a little bit faster. And I like the kind, I ordered the kind that's got that torque at the end, that way I can really crank down on something. Okay. Yeah, super, super simple build. And it works out great when everything goes together correctly. And so far, this has been absolutely perfect. Get them down anchor tight, okay, where they're nice and flush, and then give them just like a little half turn. But don't crank down too much. You start seeing a little bit of puckering or denting around that foam, stop there. Don't go any further than that. That means you're done. Just think of that as your done point. Okay, when it bottoms out, then get a little half turn with your hand, and you're done. You don't want to. You're a lot stronger than you think you are, and you could easily break these things. Okay, look for everything will line up just right. Bottoms out. A little half turn with your finger at the end of the screwdriver helps. And that tail, that's on there. All right. Okay. Now, I am going to do something I don't normally condone doing, but with these E-FLITE models, I've yet to have an issue. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and conjoin these surfaces together. And sure enough, that almost lines up perfectly. Okay. There you go. Make sure it's all the way down. I want to get my tool. Hold on. This is called a ball link wrench, and it has these like teeth to where you can get on either side of the ball link. There, see, that way it's easy. It's designed to take them on and off. It's just a great little tool to have. But I don't even remember now where I got mine. Maybe Amazon somewhere. Okay, now let's back up for this. Okay, this is a part that they don't talk to you about in the manuals that much. They just give, but it's a very, folks, this part's serious. Okay, this part you need to pay attention to. This is a part of the assembly that if you don't get it right, you're going to really regret it. Okay, this is a bad part. My camera froze because I don't want you to miss this. This is hard. This is the part I've been dreading of this build this entire time. Oh! That was touch and go. Whew, I was worried about that. I'm like, I had to send back yet another Habu. Man, nose cone went on. All right. Wasn't that dramatic? Okay. All right, well, everything's in there. Now I'm actually looking inside. You have an IC5 connector and got an AR37TA Spektrum smart telemetry receiver. I will not be using the smart file. I will make my own. And there you go. But that is the basic assembly. Alrighty, got her all bound up to the transmitter. Just basic communication. I've done no rates, I've done no setups, I've done nothing. I've just made sure that all functionality is there. Okay, and that everything's working the right way. Gear up and down, nice and purty. Okay, and like I said, I've got no kind of rates or anything, just making sure that everything works right. Okay, and that's that. Okay, you got a blinking light there, a light on top, you got the landing lights, and then you got the blinking light nav lights on the end of the wingtips, and then you got your landing light here. I was thinking about adding a KM Models afterburner. However, the back of this isn't in. Lost my. Well, okay, connection's lost with the TV, but I'm still recording. Okay. However, the back of this Inrunner, the inner shaft, the motor shaft, hangs out about an inch, maybe half an inch. And the KM model afterburners for Inrunners, they need to sit flat on the back of the motor. Most 95% of all Inrunners support this one way or the other. This one will not. So I would be forced to treat it as an outrunner and build the structure, the wires and everything, and attach it to the inside of the fuselage. And I'm just not going to do that for this one. This I'm going to, since I can't bolt it on nice and secure in that fashion, well, this one's not going to get an afterburner. Okay, now unless KM Models comes out with an adapter that I can use, or I use a different company's afterburner, but I wouldn't because I love KM Model afterburners. They're super bright and they work so well. This one's just going to have to go without. It's got enough lights on it. They're kind of dim. I wish they were brighter, but that's E-FLITE. They did the same thing with their Neo. They have nice, beautiful lights, but they're just not very bright. So hopefully in future editions of their planes that their LEDs are brighter. The only thing I can think of, though, is that the current and the amount of electrical that's used to compact, and they use all the technology and everything here, they can't keep the electrical wattage down low enough to where you've got lights, but they're not going to overpower everything. I'm just guessing there, so I really don't know. But so this one won't have the afterburner though. But I do like the lights. I just wish they were brighter. But all right, everything works, and we'll take you out the field. We'll get you a maiden, but I'm not going to show you my maiden, my CG, expo rates, or anything until after I've flown the plane. And the reason I do that on a lot of my planes, I do it on everything, but on a lot of them, is I want you to see it fly, and that way then I show you everything, and that way it's proven. You just saw it in action, okay? And now here it is, and I'll do that at the field. So, all right, well, thank you so much. God bless y'all. Honey, my camera precious, who's at work right now, thank you for the plane. Family, thank you for the plane. And God bless y'all. God is good. And don't forget, faith, family, and friends, and then Habu XS 80mm. Bye-bye. I really am a kid in the candy store with a bunch of toys, my toys. Yeah.